Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Amos. Good morning, all the participants. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce our friend Dr. S. Suresh Kumar for this occasion. Dr. S. Suresh Kumar did his BE Mechanical Engineering from AVC College of Engineering, Mailadurai in the year 2001. He did his ME Engineering Design from Kongu Engineering College, E-Road in the year 2004. He completed his PhD from IIT Madras Machine Design Department in the year 2012. He has totally 11 years of teaching experience and presently working as an associate professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, SSN College of Engineering, Chennai. His areas of research includes fatigue and fracture mechanics, crash analysis of auto components, and ballistic impact studies on naval and aerospace materials. He has good number of international journal conference publication and presently he is guiding 4 PhD research scholars. He has communicated 4 patents in the field of automotive safety attachments. The patents are under review. He was one of the author of the textbook Introduction to Design Thinking, published by McGraw-Hill Publication in the year 2019. Uh, it is our honor to have Suresh Kumar with us. I handing over the session to Dr. S. Suresh Kumar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your
Thank you.
detailed introduction for me. Very good morning to one and all. The objective of the today's lecture is so how to use finite element method for the impact analysis. So in that aspect we are going to cover, and prior to that, what is the object what is the purpose of ballistic impact studies, and how the defense material, what are the defense materials we are used, that we are going to discuss. So since many participants may be working in the research areas, and definitely I feel that at the end of the lecture you can get a lot of inputs for your research work, and those who have completed already. Since I chose, actually my area of interest is fatigue and fracture mechanics. Due to my personal interest, I selected this field long back and we started working. So two of my scholars have submitted their thesis in this area. uh, Even we used this particular concept, both metals as well as composite material also. Another research scholar is working in the same area with the composite materials. So in the three images which I mentioned in the, and the total journey has been planned in such a way that it starts with ballistic impact analysis introduction, and how the novel material evolved, and then followed by how to do perform the ballistic impact studies, both as well as experimental and numerical method. So those aspects will be covered in the first part of the lecture. Then later I have minimized the abacus window also. How to do the entire this one using abacus also we are going to discuss. So at the end of this lecture, definitely you can understand what is meant by ballistic impact studies, how it needs to be carried out for the defense material, and how to do it, how to perform the experimentation part, as well as how to do it by analytical numerical method. So all those points we are going to cover. So in the first second image clearly indicates a projectile hits the target, and then how it deforms. Okay, that is the point we have to collect from this animation. Similarly, there are two type of ballistic impact. One is the contact analysis and the another one is non-contact analysis. non-contact ballistics. So the second image indicates the contact ballistic impacts, that is the projectile, so which has both rotary as well as linear velocity hits the target. So why the rotary motion is required in order to drill the target? Okay, so the main objective of this particular ballistic is to destroy the target, or to destroy the soldiers, those who have hidden behind the target. Okay, so that's why the ballistic impact becomes most important. Especially I chosen this field because every one of you have your own field of interest in the research area. This may be the new area, many of the research may not touch, because a lot of inputs we cannot get it, it's not so. So I would suggest that definitely you can start working in this area also. Even we are preparing a lot of composites, and we are aiming towards how to reduce the weight of the aircraft materials. So for those regions, for example, let's take a simple example of a aircraft which moves in a runway. So at that time, the small debris or gravels in the runway also can have a chance to hit the bottom portion of the flight or aircraft wing, or even sometimes the front portion of the glass anywhere. So even that can cause severe damage to the structure. That's the reason ballistic studies becomes important. Whereas the third one indicates non-contact ballistics. So even how to targeting, so that is one aspect. Even non-contact comes under underwater explosion. So these are the various type of let's take an example of a aviation industry. So in the aviation, see, the first one is, this is also a sudden impact comes to the landing gear. So why the impact study becomes most important? So in real time application, many aviation structures and tankers are subjected to both contact and non-contact analysis. So even in the contact analysis, contact ballistics, both contact and non-contact ballistic impact studies we can perform using any of the Abacus software, or even ANSYS also. Even there are specific packages are there. So look at the first example. So the sudden impact of the landing gear is one, it's a low velocity impact. Whereas look at the second one, completely crashing of the fighter aircraft. Even this material, the fighter aircraft where the landing happens. Okay, so this is a fighter aircraft, and this is the warship, right? So here you can see this is a warship and this is a fighter aircraft. What is the material of this warship deck and various portions of the warships? So that also is being exhaustively being taken care of DMRL Hyderabad. Okay, so actually we are using the indigenous material which we developed in our country itself to develop this area. This is the portions where high compressive strength is required, because the landing and takeoff happens only in this area. And similarly, fighter aircraft landing gear design, everywhere we are using some advanced improved materials. Even in this case also, the explosion happens because of the stored fuel. So that's the reason. So these are the scenarios which we can expect in the real-time battlefield. So what the takeaway points are, what are the nature of failure occurs in the real world battlefield? If we come back from that region, what is the type of material required and type of analysis required, how to justify our material selection, or how to improve the material properties? All those areas are important. So why ballistics is required? For example, if you want to analyze our two-wheeler, it is not required. Similarly, four-wheeler is, of course, we may be riding off-road vehicles are concerned. So the debris can have a chance to hit the different body portion of your car or two-wheeler. Even that can cause severe impact to the structure. Similarly, the runway debris. So that's the reason the structure or the portion of the vehicle needs to be tested against contact ballistic impact. Whenever you are writing a proposal or working for the marine environment. So here, non-contact ballistics, torpedo attacks and all comes under um, contact analysis, underwater explosions, naval mines. So naval mines, if you say, whenever the ship is floating on the structure, the bottom side it is a floating. Whenever ship is floating on the top surface, at the bottom we can expect the naval mines will be located. So this is the naval mines will have a direct contact with the base portion of the ship and it will destroy the ship. So that is the reason how to improve the strength of the naval components against contact and non-contact ballistic. That is most important nowadays. Okay. Especially, definitely you can select a non-contact ballistic impact for your another new research area. Those who have already completed doctorate. So definitely, I would suggest that you can choose non-contact ballistic impact or shock analysis. So as a new area for the materials. So already we people are working exhaustively towards property enhancement of the materials, how to increase the tensile strength, hardness, toughness. Many attempts we are making with narrow materials or surface treatment, powder, many area we are working. Similarly, how to test the material under shock environment, shock resistance of a material. That is also most important. So even in Bangalore, there are certain companies wherein we can test our material against shocks. For example, if you want to apply a funded project to IG car, you have to write the proposal towards material which are subjected to neutron radiation. So radioactive materials. So how the material property deteriorates for the prolonged period, or fracture toughness. What is the influencing parameters affects the fracture toughness of a nuclear material. In this aspect, we have to concentrate. Similarly, if you want to write the proposals for NRB, Naval Research Board, then this would be the suitable area. How to do the non-contact ballistic analysis, underwater shock facilities. So develop for in those area we can concentrate to make a collaboration with the NRB team, or we can develop our own indigenous facility, something like that. So now the slide indicates the non-contact ballistic impact. So the huge structure is subjected to a non-contact ballistic impacts. So which is the most important problem in the warfare is concerned. And 2 days back also, our Indian Navy got the new submarines. The name I couldn't remember. Those who know the name of those submarine ships, you can tell me. I saw the news in Parliament News. I was watching that. So two new submarines were added to our navy, so it can travel long distance, something like that. Those are the specifications. So in the new material and what is a new weapon started from the World War II itself. From there itself, the journey started. Okay, so at that time they used the conventional weapons. For example, one second, I will keep this band up upward side. Okay, okay. At that time they used rapid from the World War II only. The new revolution of weapons as well as materials research started. Okay, so they used the at that time they had a lot of takeaway points. At the end of the World War II, they badly required how to increase the weapon reliability, strength and power. So those parameters played a major role. Similarly, rapid advancement in weapon technology initiated at the end of the Second World War only. So similarly, mechanization, improved mechanisms, and greater investment in the scientific research was required, yeah, used at that time. Similarly, look at this one. Okay, the next images will be clear. Okay, so they were relatively very fundamental and very basic equipments. Weapons were used in World War One, and slowly some common mechanism, the gun jams. For example, they observed these are the failures: poor quality material, slow armored vehicle, overheating and undersized equipment, target inaccuracy, poor quality material. Even each and every of this pink colored point will give you one option to start a new journey. Gun jams, how to overcome that. So those who are working in the machining part, so sudden release of the gun, how to do that. Target inaccuracy, so those who are working in the sensor from the electronics background, definitely this will help you. Target inaccuracy and poor quality material, so as we people, mechanical people, can handle this. And slow armored vehicles, again automotive people working with automotive domain, because the armored vehicle we have a exhaustively we are working right now. So in the case of armored vehicle, it is a completely off-road vehicle. Okay, so our Arjun M2 Arjun tanks tanks are concerned, they are completely off-road vehicle. So the vibration studies of the entire Arjun tank or ballistic protection. Many places of the Arjun tank requires ballistic protection. Because if you consider the, can any one of you suggest which are the areas badly required ballistic protection? If you take the Arjun tank, take example of a Arjun tank, so which is being used uh, for the warfare. Which are the regions? Because we mechanical engineers should able to spot out what is the need for a armored vehicle. So how the quality of the material or the resistance of the material can be improved. So that is our major importance. That way I'm asking you, what is the, which are the areas badly require ballistic protection? Anybody? You can unmute yourself and you can say, don't worry, even if the answer is wrong. Anyone? Which are the areas or which are the regions of the army tank requires ballistic protection? Okay, so the first region is the driver room, who is going to drive the entire vehicle. Then weapon room is there in the same vehicle. Weapon room is the another one, and engine room is the most critical area because opponents will target, because that is, it is not a normal ICE engine. So anybody, what is the nature of engine we are using in army tankers? Anybody from thermal background? Anybody from thermal background can answer this question. Okay, it is definite. Please, even at the, I leave the question to the audience part. Please answer me at the end of the query section also. So these are the each and every area, because the engine room also needs to be protected against ballistic impact. So ballistic impact, for example, from the AK-47 gun, what is the maximum impact we can receive? Similarly, missile attack. There are different range and variety of weapons are there in the warfare, and similarly, each and everyone contributes. Range is the first one, and nature of the impact it transfers to the target, that is also important. Okay, so that's why if we, as a design engineer or mechanical engineer or metallurgical engineer, if you want to design a ballistic pad or ballistic shield for a armored vehicle, our research knowledge is badly required there. Because thick, at present, the Arjun MK2 model, we are using 360 target we are using. Just imagine 36 centimeter. That much huge, thick plates we are using. That why the mileage of the tanker is very low, and moreover, speed also matters a lot. And how to minimize that ballistic pad. So that is the important research work. So right now we are using RHA steel, rolled homogeneous RHA alloy, yes, rolled homogeneous alloy steel we are using. How to minimize that weight of the ballistic pad? That becomes the important research work right now. Participants, those who are working in the area of composite materials or high toughened material or advanced aluminum grades 7075 something, so we are the correct people to think about how to minimize the weight of the ballistic pad. Okay, this is a scope for your research work also. And next one is the increase in aircraft production, first jet engines. So many things happen. So the main evolution of the defense field started from the learnings from World War One and World War Two. Okay, so even if you come to the marine side, aviation side, they badly required lightweight aircraft material. So can you spot out any one regions in helicopter or aircraft where are we using magnesium for lightweight alloy? Anybody? Any locations? Anybody? It is not a directly exposed area because we know the corrosion stability of the magnesium. Most of the helicopter components, even I can say those regions separately. Most of the helicopter components and fighter aircraft components are they were made lightweight material like magnesium. Okay, they are using magnesium. How to enhance the strength and the flammability, how reduce the quick catching of firing. So in those areas also many researchers are working. Lightweight is the bad requirement of the fighter aircraft. Similarly, same lightweight is the requirement for the uh, land vehicles or armored vehicles. Similarly, for the naval applications, what is the desired property? Anybody? What is the predominant factor required for the naval applications? If you want to design or identify the material for the fighter aircraft or okay, fighter aircraft is different. Warships. Okay, so the entire red color portion of the ship is the slides which you are seeing going to be, yes. Somebody is trying to say.
Corrosion, sir. Anti-corrosion.
Exactly, sir.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. Superb, sir. Exact. Corrosion is the one prime requirement. Apart from that, the material which we are going to select should be able to withstand the non-contact ballistic impact also. That's why today lecture, because even you can write a many. I have communicated one or two proposals to NRB. They are in the pipeline in the same domain. That's the reason I am sharing my experience to other faculties also. If you are interested and if you have any idea related to that, in if you have a quick solution to this corrosion coating or some sacrificial anode or cathodes, many methods we are using right now. So if you have a solution or any novel improvement to enhance the corrosion stability of the material, definitely you can write the proposal to the naval research board. That is one aspiring area. And here, apart from the corrosion resistance, one more property also required, that is called non-contact ballistic resistance, otherwise called shock resistance of the material. Once again, shock resistance of the material becomes important, because suppose if there is a naval mine located at this region, the sudden shock waves are developed by the naval mines will cause the entire ship to be thrown away. That's what I shown previous slides. At that time, what will happen? The entire ship, the measurements are everywhere. Many shaftings are there, power transmission lines and circuits are there. Everything will collapse if you lift the ship to great height. So that then it will become immobile. That is what they expected from the opponents also. So how can we design or develop the material to withstand the underwater shock loading? That is the important area here. Okay, so even this is for the army vehicles. So here you can clearly understand turret portion is here, just now I mentioned. So this needs to, this is in direct contact with the battlefield. This is in direct contact with the battlefield. So which are the areas requires? Suppose if you want to develop a company for example, ballistic pad for the ground vehicles, is this, that is also DuPont is doing the same thing. Somebody might have heard this term, DuPont Hyderabad. So this companies, they are working for the um, they are developing the suits to the soldiers. They are developing the material Dyneema. They are, if you are, I think definitely some of the participants might have worked with Dyneema fiber. So the Dyneema fiber, actually we tried but we couldn't get that. Even you can help me using that fiber, how can we do the enhance the toughness of the material, the desired, but we know the difference between hardness and the toughness. So the defense material badly requires toughened, high toughness is required, because to withstand the impact energy. Okay, so here, so for this particular tanker is concerned, there are many areas are there. Even suppose if this is the driver room, the entire outer portion needs to be tested, oh sorry, tested, protected against ballistic impact. Okay, so submarines and underwater technologies similarly same way. So many things are there. Underwater explosion is the major threat to the warships. So naval warfare expanded in World War II as more fighting occurred on the seas. War can happen in the land. For example, for people, our India and India and Pakistan, it happens. There is no water bodies in between. So only the missile attacks is the possibility. And even sometimes, even for example, South China with other places, the war will happen at the ocean bed. Okay, land wise, okay, ocean water media is another one. So in this way, based on the geographical nature of the country and warfare required. Many, for example, the weapons are required. For example, sonar radar technologies to detect the enemy ships. So I would suggest all the participants to watch a movie. Uh, I think I couldn't remember the name. Definitely, we can see the whatever I'm explaining, entire thing. The entire thing you can get more detailed information using that movie. Even if somebody could be able to remember, please help me. There are two important movies are there. Even if we can see clearly how the torpedo attacks the others opponents. So now our part is we are not interested in weapon development or something. Our interest is how to enhance the toughness of the material and how to determine the ballistic performance of a material using numerical method. That is our area. That's the reason we are learning the entire fundamentals. Okay. So missile weapons, even in this case also, this is a contact type. Okay, this is a contact type rockets, and so they developed a lot of very first ballistic missile. So look at this. They developed Germans. They are very good at developing the ballistic missiles. Even I would ask you another question. Recently we purchased Rafale. So what are the benefits of positive aspects of Rafale? Don't ask me, sir. We didn't develop that Rafale. Some not like that. We are not entering to that subject. Our interest is somehow we purchased Rafale compared to other Tejas or some other missiles. What is the specific points of the Rafale? Even I didn't see that. Only the news I saw that in the nose portion is so sharp. And what is the speed of the Rafale? What material has been used? And what is the maximum temperature it can withstand? So many aspects triggers the curiosity of the researchers like we people. Once if you know that how further it can be improved, in that way we start to think. So please, even if you know the information about Rafael, it may be difficult, but only if you get the peripheral information about Rafael, what is its Mach number or something like that, what material we have used. Okay, so those details we can use for our research purpose. So once if you know the material, still we can think about what is the toughness of that and how it can be increased further. In this way also we can think about. So torpedoes and these are the other equipments. These portions we can quickly rush through. And similarly in the shape of the weapons and the nuclear fission reactants, and then these are the some which triggered the new motivation towards new weapon design and new material research. So these are the fundamentals. Okay. And similarly, before understanding the concept of ballistics, just using the high speed camera, how it destroys the targets. So look at the first image. So a missile this is the completely tanker. How it receives the impact. Now there is no tire. Okay, it's a tracked vehicles we are using. So how it causes explosion, this mechanism we have to understand. Okay, so now imagine whatever I discussed so far is just a fundamental why ballistic is important and how the ballistic study is being carried out in defense sector. It's fine. Now this is a time to imagine. So imagine the third figure, a target or missile comes from, it releases from the turret portion. It is going to hit and explode, both happens simultaneously. Okay, this is called the high velocity impact. Okay, so because of that, any one of you please suggest, look at the first figure. So the missile hits the vehicle. At that time, what are all the your physical observations? Because we are going to model this situation. The last, in my last lecture also I mentioned that. So FEA becomes important as a we should be a great creator. So once if you look at this image, from that how to model that in abacus, sorry, in numerical method based software, that is important. That's why, so during the projectile impact, what are the physical phenomenon you are observing, that itself sufficient for me. Because from the mechanical perspective, a missile hits the target or a missile hits the vehicle. Okay, at that time what are all the things happening? So that observation itself will reveal you lot of information. First thing anybody is willing to share your views? During the projectile hit to the target, what are the things happens? Anybody? What are the things? How you can relate these physical problem into our strength of materials or our mechanical domain?
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please
So the
go ahead,
first
sir.
the first one is it is going to be the kinetic energy.
Super.
It is transferred. Okay,
Yes, sir.
and there
Yes,
is
sir.
also some sort of chemical energy which is released,
Exactly.
which is going to result in very high pressure and
Superb, sir.
temperature. Okay,
Excellent, sir.
the material properties are, for example, like for anti-ballistic vehicles, it should have a
Yes, sir.
very high impact strength. Where okay, it
Super.
should disseminate the energy across
Yes,
its
sir.
material so that it is not transferred further into the material.
Superb, sir.
For very high temperature like this, temperature dependent properties, the
Exactly.
temperature should not easily melt the material,
Superb.
and
Superb, sir.
for very high pressure which is generated along with this temperature, so
Yes,
the
sir.
material should withstand that high pressure also, sir.
Superb, sir. Excellent.
Thank you.
Whatever the points, you have revealed all the points. One more small suggestion, sir. You have clearly explained everything. So
Yes.
now, how will you convert? Now, can you approximately guess what are the material properties required if we want to model this phenomenon using Abacus or ANSYS? Suppose if I want to model this in ANSYS or Abacus or any FEA-based software,
Yes, sir.
Autodyne we are using for the ANSYS and Abacus directly we can do that.
Yes, sir.
Now, what are the material properties required, and what are? Can you have a rough guessing, sir?
uh, say regarding material properties, we're
Yes,
okay.
sir.
We need to consider the Young's modulus.
Superb,
Are
sir.
you asking? Okay, Young's modulus, the strength properties,
Superb. Okay.
and I think like it includes some sort of say shock related phenomena should also be there, because it is going to be a high energy impact, and the impact is going to be say comparable to the speed of sound.
Superb, sir.
So it should be capable of
Thank you,
handling
sir.
that. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for your initiatives. As sir exactly pointed out here, first point is it is a high velocity impact. He mentioned about the kinetic energy. So it already comes with half mv square. So that those entire energy is going to transfer to the target. That is the first thing. And high strain rate testing. Okay, as that is another technical word. For example, in our strength of materials lab, we are doing the test at a low strain rate. Suppose how to get the material properties at high strain rate, that becomes most important in the ballistic studies. Any researchers, any participants are using JC parameters in your research work? Can share your experience. Any participants, those who are working with JC parameter, Johnson's Cook failure parameter and Johnson's Cook material model. Anybody? Because these two parameters are badly required for this, and as sir exactly pointed out, heat is generated during the projectile impact, so that we need to address. So high strain rate material property is required. Apart from Young's modulus and Poisson's ratio, high strain rate material property, heat is generated, so heat source model is required, and equation of high impact energies, he mentioned all the points. So high impact energy is transferred the entire so equation of state equation that is required. So these four parameter, that is Johnson's Cook material plasticity, and moreover after hitting it explodes or the material reached to the plastic region. Okay, this is not an elastic failure. After the projectile impact, the material high strain rate failure, and more added to that, the material reaches high plastic deformation. So the material badly we require material data at high strain rate, that will cover by JC material parameter, and high plastic deformation. So JC plasticity is required, and heat source model required, and due to energy conservation, equation of state EOS. So these are the four parameters required to model the actual target using any finite element method. Then only we can confidently say that our numerical analysis is exact compared to the real-time problem. In order, if you want to do the same test, we are wasting the entire time and money. Instead, if we can predict the results of experimentation by conducting the numerical simulation, definitely we can save the 1 second. Definitely we can save the time and money. So that is the R&D part required from the researchers. These are the various failure mechanisms. So we might not have heard about these entire terminologies. For example, whenever we do the tensile test, the necking phenomenon is very clear. So from that we can understand this is a cup and cone fracture. Similarly, suppose if the same test is being done at very high strain rate, then what will happen? Take example of aluminum or mild steel. If the strain rate, what is the effect of strain rate on material deformation? Anybody? If you know the answer, you can share with me. What is the effect of strain rate?
Sir, the material behaves in a brittle manner because of
So-
high strain rate.
Superb, sir. Superb. So even though it is a ductile material, whenever we apply the high strain rate, it will behave like a brittle material. So we are not allowing the material to deform plastically, since the load rate is different. That's why the entire procedure of ballistic simulation using numerical method comes under high strain rate testing. Okay, so high strain rate testing, whereas whatever the test we have done in our strength of materials lab is a slow strain rate testing or normal strain rate. So in the first figure shows, see these are the different failure phenomenon, and whenever we are writing the research paper, we used to characterize the failure by using some images, right? So similarly here also, after the projectile has penetrated the target, once again I'll change the pen style. Okay, look at this region. This is the projectile penetrated region, and this is the thickness of the target also. This is called, see, in the outer I think this is the entry region, and it has came out. This is the exit region. This is the exit region. So this is called petalling. Okay, this is called petaling mode of failure. So what are the different type of ballistic failure modes? First mode is a petaling, and second one is, this is called plugging. The projectile couldn't come out. This is called the plugging, because see, multiple cracks have initiated. So even if we give this image to any of the researchers, definitely they will write the another one paragraph. So this is the thickness of the material. So this is a conical projectile, and the central portion deformed. Whether this is okay or the first one is okay, petaling is not at all. That is based on the situation. For example, this is the ballistic pad. If some soldiers are hidden behind this, and if the projectile comes in this way, then this shield should able to stop the projectile. That is called the ballistic resistance. So the second one is okay. First one is not okay, because it permits the projectile to come out easily only in the case of ductile material. So we have also observed this in the aluminum 6061 material. So definitely you can expect the same kind of failure. This is called the petaling. So complete plastic deformation. So this is also complete perforated. See, these are the lip region. So completely it could able to pierce the target. Here only the dent happened. That's all. Here only the dent happen. These are the this is plugging, and this is petaling. Apart from that perforation, many methods are there. Look at this one. Can you guess what might have happened in this particular target? One hint I will give you. This is the ballistic pad. Okay, this is a ballistic pad. The thickness is very high. So different numbers are there, 1, 3, 1, 9, 2 something. What are these numbers indicates? So don't worry about the ballistics. What kind of failure you could be able to predict from this target? Anybody? So here, shearing, just in the projectile has hit the surface and removed some portion of the material. It couldn't penetrate. That shows this region. But here it completely, it could be able to pierce the target. This is also projectile. It has come inside. This is the exit region. It has come from inner to outer region. This is also failed target. Okay, this is the failed shield of ballistic shield. So now we researchers have to find a mechanism how to enhance the toughness of this target. generally don't worry about the ballistic concept. How to increase the toughness of the material? Anybody? Any participants can share. Those who are working in the same area can share your views also. How to enhance the toughness of a material? Because the toughness, for example, I think many of you may be working in the gear design also. The gears are concerned, we require high hardness at the surface level. That's why when the two gears and gear and pinion mates each other at the pitch point, we require high hardness to withstand, to avoid the failure. Similarly, high toughness is required to withstand more energy. More, the ability of a material to withstand more impact energy is called the toughness. That's why how to enhance the toughness of the material? What are the toughness enhancing mechanisms available? Anybody? Any participants can share. How to enhance the toughness of a material? Any idea, sir?
By heat treatment process, sir.
Yes, sir. That we can do. That is one method. Even we tried one proposal. Actually, it was given as a proposal from ISRO under another scheme, but we couldn't get. But we tried. We attempted, but we couldn't get the. It was not considered by ISRO. What is the effect of heat treatment conditions on 17 pH steel? That 17 pH steel they are using in the rocket, for example, stage separation system of a rocket. So எல்லாருமே ராக்கெட் பார்த்துருக்கோம். There are many stages are there. So இந்த ஒவ்வொரு ஸ்டேஜும் particular altitudeல இந்த stages needs to get separated. For the separation they are using explosives. Okay, they are using not spring back something. So the individual stage should get separated from the rocket. So for that separation they are using 17 pH stainless steel they are using. So what is the effect of heat treatment conditions on ballistic or shock resistance of pH 17 steel is the one of the important problem for ISRO. We tried to find the solution to that and we couldn't get the fund for that. But while writing the proposal, we learned many idea. So that's why I'm telling anything. So we are restricting our ideas. The moment if I say ballistics, sir, it is worth only for defense material or DRDO people alone working. No, we can also make an initiative, because the word ballistic is nothing but high velocity impact. So even the ranges are there: low velocity impact, medium and high velocity. Missile attacks comes under high velocity. From AK-47 we can say it is a medium velocity. Even we are driving a car in a off-road, small debris or gravel can hit the base of our car. That is also come under low velocity impact. Okay, so this is a concept. So similarly here we could find the various mechanism. Now those who are working in the machining area are suitable for this. Why the shape is in curved material? Why not it is a straight target? So how to prevent the projectile penetration into the target? If you can, if this is the one important question, or how might we prevent the projectile penetration into the target? So immediately one idea will come to your mind. So why sir, instead of using the ultimate, the yield strength of this material is less, so why don't we use cast iron? Did anyone think like that? What will happen if I use cast iron or brittle material for the defense application? Anybody? What it will happen if we use brittle material for defense application? Is it advisable, first of all? Anybody? It is not at all advisable. I revealed the answer. Can you guess the reason for that? Any what is the possible reason of not using brittle material for defense application? Any idea?
It will not take a impact load, sir. It will not absorb energy. It breaks all of a sudden. It cracks. It fails in a very catastrophic way.
Superb, sir.
Often.
As sir exactly mentioned, the catastrophic failure causes individual fragmentation failure. The broken pieces, each of the broken pieces will behave like a bullet. That's why the brittle materials are generally not at all advisable for the defense application. Even especially even though the load carrying capability of the structure, the material, cast iron or other materials are very high, the moment if they receive, they are not suitable to withstand the brittle material. They won't absorb energy. If you know the stress strain curve of that, so this is the stress strain curve of the cast iron, whereas this is for the mild steel. So this it will plastically deform a lot. So it means that it will absorb more energy, so it can withstand only severe load, but it won't absorb energy. So that is the reason it is not at all advisable. Okay, so these are the various ballistic failure mechanisms. So first one is the brittle fracture, which is not at all advisable. Ductile hole growth, some extent it's okay. Radial fracture, even this is also okay, but fragmentation is completely should not happen. So those are working in the material. Even there is a scope for another one, how to enhance the toughness of the material, or this is the fragmentation failure. In the each of the broken pieces will behave like one bullet. So that's the reason fragmentation should not happen. Petaling is okay because completely it can pierce the target. Okay, so this is called the ductile hole growth or petaling. So the projectile can able to pierce the target. So now many researchers are working how to prevent the projectile impact by using layered configuration. So instead of using one monolithic target, so the target can be minimized like this. So using many layers we can go for, so that the each and every layer will provide a resistance to against the projectile impact. So in this way many researchers are trying, and somebody are trying with the FML. Even we tried with the FML. So first layer is metal, second layer is composite, then metal composites. In this way also we tried. Then we tested the target against low velocity as well as high velocity impact. So these are the various failure mechanisms. So in our numerical simulation, if you want to exactly predict the nature of failure, material modeling becomes most important. Apart from Young's modulus and Poisson's ratio, so how to define the material plasticity? Because one important valid point is, through our numerical method we should not mispredict the ballistic failure. Okay, so that's the reason exact definition of material behavior and exact definition of material deformation after projectile impact becomes most important. Okay, so these are the various mechanisms generally, but how to bring those mechanisms in numerical method, that's what we are going to discuss today. For example, first one is the brittle fracture. Even the almost we could able to achieve all the failure mechanisms in our target also, except the crack formation we could able to find out, because element delamination something we have to define. So that's the reason JC material property or JC plasticity model we are using, and JC failure criteria, Johnson's Cook failure criteria, because Johnson's Cook has developed material property under high strain rate loading. Okay, suppose if you want to design the material under high strain rate loading, JC parameters needs to be used. Even for your research work also, if you want to analyze the parameter at high strain rate, use the JC parameter or JC plasticity model, material model, and deformation behavior, how to predict. Okay, so what is meant by ricochet? For example, the most of the army tankers will be of chamfered in shape, or they may be a curved profile, so that once the projectile hits here, it will ricochet, it will be deflected to some other angle. So look at this one here, ricochet has happened in this region. The inside, rather than penetrating towards inside, skidded. That skidding is called ricochet. Okay, so as a design engineer we can design the structure or design the ballistic pad or ballistic vehicle with a different surface texture. Even we have communicated one paper with bio-inspired targets. It's a quite interesting. So we know about armadillo or alligator, many biological species which consist of natural ballistic. நீங்க முதலையோட ஸ்கின்னை பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ரொம்ப திக்கா இருக்கும். Even if you hit it, nothing will happen to the alligator. So the skin itself act like a bioprotection or ballistic protection. Similarly, for the alligator, armadillo, எறும்பு திணின்னு சொல்லுவோம். அந்த எறும்பு திணியோட ஸ்கேல்ஸ் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா சிமிலர்லி ஒரு ஃபிஷ் இருக்கு. இந்த மூணுத்துலயுமே வந்து இதுதான் பயோ இன்ஸ்பயர்டு. அந்த டார்கெட்டை யூஸ் பண்ணோம்னா ஹவு த மெட்டீரியல் வில் பிஹேவ் தட் வி ஹவ் கம்ப்ளீட்டட் and we have communicated, and in major revisions we received, and again we have addressed everything, waiting for the further queries. Even that is also a quite interesting area related to ballistics. How to get how to design the target. We know the existing Arjun tank. The existing Arjun tank outer periphery, how can we do some structural changes? Means texture, like alligator skin or fish scales of a fish or armadillo skin petals. So if you do so, whether will it be a positive effect or negative effect or nil effect? So that investigation we have made. We didn't consider the fish scale. Only thing is the modeling skill set is required. That's all. So the logic is very, very simple. How to prevent the projectile penetration? Either by changing the surface, improving the surface is one aspect, or something we have to do with the shape of the structure, so that rather than the projectile penetrating the target, it can get deflected. So how to achieve that? So if you have any idea, definitely this will be a fruitful area. So perforation here, completely it has penetrated the target. Look at the bottommost one. One second. Here completely it has penetrated. So in this case, the ballistic resistance of this target is very less, and moreover in the same target is subjected to multiple projectile impact. So only rarely people have worked in this concept, how a single target will be affected by the projectile impact. By the same time, how the deformation behavior will change if the same target is subjected to multiple projectile impacts. So very lack of work has been done in this area. So this is also an example for plugging, and this is the ballistic test. Again, it is required for the windshield also. Aircraft windshield also require ballistic testing. Do you know the reason why? Anybody? Why aircraft windshield requires ballistic testing? Exactly. So even we may be, even one of the IIC one of the MS work in IIT Madras was related to that. They have modeled the entire bird as one soft spherical ball, but in reality it's not so. It is not a soft ball. Something like our cricket ball, we should say, because the legs, its beaks and its ribs, many bones also there for a bird. Even if you see vultures, it is so dangerous. So if the bird hits at very high velocity at the windshield, how the deformation could be? So they have completely modeled through numerical method. They have completely understood the entire task. So that's why windshield also needs to be tested against ballistic impact. Okay, next one. So here in the ancient days, see the same army tank subjected to multiple projectile impact. So each and every one indicates different but it's of no use in hitting these areas. Only the opponent's target will be engine room. Okay, so they will mainly target on engine room. Anybody, any other, suppose, imagine, don't mistake me, if the audience are in the opposite side, where will you target? One is the engine room. Okay, anybody else other than that? Exactly. So weapon room, we can say, where they kept the weapons, that region you can concentrate. Still, okay, driver area. One more, turret portion, because your aim is how to make the opponent's tanker immobile. So if you attack the turret, they can't use that vehicle, but you cannot make their vehicle puncture because it's completely tracked vehicles. Okay, so there is no tire for the army tankers. So these are the areas. So that's why these 4 areas badly require ballistic protection. Okay, so initially they made a lot of research part in that, and each and everywhere. So this is okay, this failure is okay, only surface level it is sheared away. The projectile has hit due to this curvature of the target. Because of the curvature of the target, it couldn't penetrate, rather than it has deflected. So this is the deflected, or we can say ricochet has happened. But here complete perforation has happened. So these things are not at all advisable. But this is somewhat okay. 1 and 2 is okay. But here, so that's the reason. We design engineer how to design either we can concentrate on how to improve the material toughness. This is for the metallurgy people. For the design people, how to increase the texture of the material. Okay. How to deflect the projectile material. Either we have to something like our corona, whether we have to deflect the corona COVID, or we have to increase the self resistance. So similar to that, the material should have high resistance, or its structure should be in such a way that the projectile should be deflected. So the both mechanisms are okay. So up to this, whatever I have discussed is related to contact ballistics. The moment if you go to the non-contact ballistics, the first figure clearly indicates there is lot of interesting phenomenon exists between this and badly. If you are interested in shock analysis or underwater UNDEX, UNDEX analysis, underwater explosion. So in entire India only we have 1 or 2 locations wherein we can do underwater explosion testing. One is in Vizag, NSTL. There we can test our material. Even in the same Vizag harbor, they are testing our ships with a full scale. There will not be any fisheries. There is a separate place for that. For our country, there is a place. There is a separate place. So in that they are testing the full-scale testing of the marine vessels they are doing. Okay. So if you are interested, please collect the information. Definitely, it will be very easy to you. And armored vehicles, civil aerospace, and military vehicles needs to be ballistically tested. And understanding the dynamic behavior of the material, or so for whatever, for example, those who are working in the composite or other material, definitely we will focus on how to determine tensile strength, compressive strength, similar to that, or hardness, micro hardness, so SEM micrograph, that's all. What is the material property at high strain rate? How to calculate that? When the component is subjected to high strain rate loading, which machine can be used to predict its parameters? Anybody? How to determine the mechanical or high velocities, high strain rate behavior of the material? அதுக்கு என்ன equipment பா யூஸ் பண்ணணும்? Anybody? Split Hobson, have you heard about it? Split Hobson bar. Okay, so using the setup, you can vary the strain rate. You can vary the strain rate, and we can predict the material behavior. That's why the prediction of JC parameters. That's why the prediction of the parameters under high strain rate can be done only split Hopkinson bar. Okay, so using the setup we can do that. And similarly, nuclear vessels. So nuclear vessel, containment vessels. So recently we have written a project to it is in the not yet approved, it is in the pipeline only, to GTRE, sorry, IGCAR. So nuclear reactor, how to determine how the fracture toughness not K1C, J1C, how to determine the fracture toughness of a material, of the welded joints. Okay, how the J1C deteriorates as the radiation increases. Okay, in this way also we started working. So these are the first one indicates the example for UNDEX loading, underwater explosion loading. Okay, so generally many locations we are using the why ballistics again important. So even the helicopter, everywhere you are using the welded joints. So welded joints, if that's the weakest section, for example, compared to your base metal, if how to predict the ballistic resistance of that welded joints, again we have to come back to numerical method. Okay, using the either SIS weld or any method, we can simulate the welding, and the ballistic resistance can be obtained by using the numerical method. So only thing is a plate. Once if you know the property of this is axis center line, so this is left side is material A, this is B. how to determine the ballistic resistance of this weld zone, how this ballistic resistance varies from the center line towards outer surface. So this was the one of my research scholars work. He joined the two plates using friction stir welding. Then after that we tested the material. We determined the ballistic resistance of the joint, not the base plate. We determined the ballistic. Why did we select the FSW? Anybody? Why not some other method? Why did we consider FSW for the ballistic testing? So this is the region where FSW will be done. Okay, this is the region. So what will happen if you do FSW? What type of grains we can expect at the center? Fine grains. If the grains are fine, definitely we can enhance the, it will have improved toughness. That's the reason that motivated us to choose FSW to join the plates. Okay, so this is a real-time example that how a bird hit can cause severe damage to the aviation structure. Look at this one. This is the impact region and these are the cracks. Okay, these are the cracks. Now the question is how to model the bird. That is one thing. Even there are many mathematical models are available to model vultures or any other birds. So in this case, the important area, their ribs, beaks, and leg. Okay, even at high velocity. So this will happen generally at the time of takeoff or landing. After that, the altitude of the flight will be at very high altitude. So it won't happen. So see, even in the wing also, it created huge large dent. Similarly, the windshield. So that's the reason I'm from the starting my slide onwards, I'm insisting ballistic studies is important for the entire aviation components. Suppose if this failure happens at the time of warfare, the entire vehicle we cannot use. Okay, you may be wondering why, sir, why are you giving much built up to ballistics? Just imagine if this happens at the during the time of war, the entire helicopter or flight cannot be used. So this will be a major setback to us. That's the reason before designing itself, we have to take care of entire thing. Okay. So this is also adverse effect of the bird impact, complete deformation of the or plastic deformation of the vehicle also, sorry, wing also possible. Here, can you predict the nature of failure, where the failure has initiated? Anybody? Due to bird impact. Okay, so it may be treated as a high velocity impact. The impact either it may be due to projectile, or it may be a foreign particle, or it may be a biospecies. Here it is a bird. The bird has hit the aircraft wing. Can you, any one of you, summarize the nature of failure? What has happened here? Anyone?
It seems there's a crack propagation.
Superb, sir.
The way in which the tone sheet metal indicates that it has failed at the rivet point.
Exactly.
So,
Superb. Excellent, sir. Excellent.
And the crack has propagated through the rivets.
Superb, sir. Superb.
And there's
So
also
as,
a severe plastic deformation that shows in the deformed body of the wing.
So you are mentioning about this region. This region is for
Yes, sir.
plastic deformation.
Yes, sir.
And this is the region where the rivet failed. Rivet
Yes, sir.
portion
Yes,
failed.
sir. Yes, sir.
So thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. Thanks for your response. It is excellent. Because as he exactly pointed out, this is the weakest area. So while designing how to improve the ballistic resistance of the riveted region, it may be the another area for the research, because we cannot go for welding. So which you will prefer? Anybody? Don't mistake me. Those people, those who are working in welding. So in this region, what will happen instead of rivet if I use weld? இதே ப்ராப்ளத்துல, okay, this is my failure. In order to overcome this, instead of rivets, if I use weld, will it be okay or not? Anybody can comment or make a debate of this statement. If I remove this riveted joint and if I replace by a welded joint, what would happen? What will happen? Okay, I'll tell you the answer. For example, the first failure of the rivet can propagate to second, second to third, third to fourth. Then it may stop up to this point. But if you use the welded joint, it is a continuous one. So the propagation of crack can propagate to the entire portion. So the crack propagation may be very high. That may be the reason many places still we are using riveted joint, even though it adds additional weight to the structure. Okay. Have you understood this concept? Riveted joints always is safe, but imagine one weight of one rivet equals to some gram. Multiply by if you using 1,000 rivets, that much kg you are adding to the vehicle, sorry, to the aircraft. Instead, you completely replace this and go for the welded joint. Will it be safe? Or as a design engineer or metallurgical engineer, will you agree this point? No, because the nature of deformation or failure, at least it has stopped up to this portion. But if there is a complete welded joint, then the entire portion needs to be replaced. So that's the reason, even though adding weight, we are compromising this phenomenon, and we are using the riveted joints for the aircraft structural design. So this is another terminology called ship combat survivability. The ballistic resistance, otherwise called as ship combat survivability. So enhancement, you can write the proposal. Enhancement of a ship combat survivability using many techniques, we can say. Okay. So this is what I mentioned. This is our warship aircraft carrier. So Vikrant, so what is the material used? So this is the top portions. Many takeoff and landing happens here. That's why high compressive strength is required at the top portion. Okay. So these are the some naval applications of this particular material we are using for the defense applications. Okay. This is the indigenous material of our own country. So if you want to make the shock resistance of this material or welded joints, definitely you are welcome to write a proposal. Okay. I stop up to this because there are a few more slides are there. Quickly, I will explain how the numerical portion has to be done, because time is 11:20. 1 second. Can you, 1 second. Entire screen. Can you see the Abacus window now? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. So here you can clearly see the, as I mentioned, since the running or the entire procedure is so long, I will quickly summarize it. If you want, please pause me if you want additional details. As usual, step number 1, we have to do the part modeling. So here, this is a shape. 1 second. This is a conical projectile. Okay, this is a conical projectile. Using the revolve command, you can do that. Okay, so this is the first one, and this projectile should be as per the norms of military standard. This projectile modeling should be as per the military standard. There are 3 to 4 NIS and 2 more military standards are there. So if you are interested in finding the ballistic resistance of target and projectile needs to be modeled. Step number 1. So the projectile should be as per the standards of, 1 second, we'll have some water and come back. Okay, so the target and projectile needs to be modeled. So this is the 3D solid model of the projectile. So in the dimensions of the projectiles are as per the military standard, either NIS and many standards are there. Fine. So this
Sir,
is
like,
the
1 minute.
yes,
Like,
yes, sir.
are the standards accessible to us?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. நம்ம இது எல்லாமே நீங்க அக்சஸ் பண்ணலாம். So the main mind block என்னன்னா, டிஃபென்ஸ்னாலே வந்து சார் நிறைய டீடைல்ஸ் கிடைக்காது. Of course, we are working within our boundary. We cannot get the complete specification of the, don't want that also. Once if you know how to do simulation of the ballistics part, that itself sufficient. You can do a lot of wonders. You don't need to worry about the material data. Even many military standards are readily available, and even we can access that also. So this is the as per the standard military standard, and that this is the target. So this both we have to create in the solid model. First step number 1 is development of the part geometry, and this square is volumes partition. solid part. Because in the total area I have separated this square area alone, so that I can impose very fine mesh at that region. So in order to do that, I have intentionally created a partition. This is step number 1 under part module. So using the part module, we have to create projectile and target. Here I have considered the conical projectile. Even you can also use spherical projectile or some other shapes also. If you want to analyze debris hit, any civil participants from civil department can try. You know how to model one single debris. And then the aircraft bottom portion and wing portion. There is a interesting studies are available. So the runway debris, if it hits irregular debris, okay, irregular gravel, if it hits the target, how it would deform. Okay, so that is also a separate study for the civil department while they are certifying the roads. Okay, while they are certifying the road surface of our runway profile, at that time it will be helpful to them. Okay, similarly while designing the warship deck portion or upper portions where takeoff and landing happens, so civil structures, civil people can make use of this study for the deck design. Okay, this is step number 1. And the important properties property module. So I'll edit and then explain. There are two materials. So aluminum is the target material and steel is the projectile material. So for the aluminum, we have given Johnson's Cook damage failure model and damage evolution criteria, density, elastic properties, EOS, equation of state, plastic property, specific heat. So these are the material properties required for a target. Because some of our participant friend, he completely explained everything. So during the projectile impact, energy transfer happens, so that will be taken care of EOS model. And the elastic properties required under damage evolution. In order to capture the petaling or plugging or any type of ballistic failure, damage evolution is required. The two here we have used JC damage model, Johnson's Cook damage model, and similarly JC plasticity model also required, because during after the projectile impact, the target completely deforms into plastically it deforms. In order to represent that plastic deformation, that's why JC plastic model we are using. Then specific heat also we need to define. So these are the general material properties required to perform the ballistic studies. JC இதெல்லாம் எங்க சார் கிடைக்கும்? Don't worry, many reference paper literature papers are available for a known material. For aluminum 6061, 7075, SS 304, many for the known well popularized material, these properties are readily available. Or developing that material property alone is a separate journal paper work using split Hopkinson bar testing. That is material properties at high strain rate. So I think the facility is available in DMRL, Hyderabad, and ARCI. I'm not sure about it, ARCI, but it may be available in DMRL and Delhi. I don't know the location, but it is available in some way. So both civil as well as mechanical people are working in this domain. So these are the material properties and these are the constants. So if time permits, I will explain what is D1, D2, D3, everything. Right now, definitely as a beginner, if you read the concept, you will understand. One thing is damage evolution is used to predict the nature of deformation caused by projectile impact, density, elasticity, as usual properties, and plastic properties. JC, not normal plasticity. JC plasticity is required. Young sir, because Johnson's Cook plastic parameters have been obtained based on the high strain rate. Whereas normal plastic properties will not help you or will not capture the real-time phenomenon. That's why we are using JC parameters. Okay, that is step number 2. And step number 3, assembly. So here we are bringing the target and projectile together in line. So this is the axis of the projectile and this is the target perpendicular to that. Now we have brought the projectile and the target in line. Okay, this is to be done in assembly module. And step module, please, if you are interested, note down this. Dynamic explicit options should be selected. Okay, dynamic because there are many options are there. The moment if you step 2, if you create see general, sorry, I couldn't edit now. If you see dynamic static general, geostatic, coupled field, many options are available in ANSYS, sorry, Abacus. But compulsorily we have to select a dynamic explicit. Why? Because during the projectile impact, vibration also unavoidable. So, and moreover, it's a highly nonlinear problem. Loading by high strain rate loading, highly a nonlinear problem. So that's why to solve those empirical relations, we badly require explicit solvers. And moreover, this dynamic explicit solver is suitable for high strain rate loading problem, vibration problem, high material nonlinearity problem. Okay, so this is important. Dynamic explicit solver should be selected under step module. Under interaction, we have to define the contact interaction between projectile and the target, because then only we can clearly see the plastic deformation or effect of this projectile impact onto the target. For example, this is the generally master slave contact we can define, or self surfaces type of contact also we can define. Here the projectile impact is going to create large plastic deformation. So the total surface of the projectile and the total surface of the target needs to be interacted, or contact interaction needs to be applied between these two. Okay, so there are different type of that part we'll discuss little later. Then loading is concerned, the boundary conditions are all the outside surface of the target needs to be constrained. Okay, surface alone, all degrees of, I'll edit it, you can understand. So all the surface portion needs to be arrested, whereas for the projectile, what should be apply? Anybody? For the projectile, what is the loading or boundary conditions required for the projectile? Anybody? Projectile enna boundary conditions paramatharano and loading. So the velocity needs to be given. You may be asking, sir, in real time the projectile is rotating and linearly traversing. Of course, here we in the animation which I am showing now, analysis which I am showing now, we didn't consider the rotational effect. Here we have given the, once again, boundary conditions, load case manager. This is a predefined field. This is a temperature we have defined, and the second one second. So this is a velocity. So minus 275 meter per second we have given. That is uniform translation alone. V1, V2, V3 are the velocity. So what is the velocity of the projectile? So that we have applied to the projectile part. If the projectile velocity is less than 150 meter per second, then it can be treated as low velocity. 150 to 500 or 600, it's a medium velocity. Beyond that, it will be high velocity ballistic impact. That high velocity ballistic impact tests are generally being carried out at Chandigarh, TBRL, Terminal Ballistic Research Laboratory, Chandigarh. There we can see the high velocity, projectile velocity of 1200 meter per second also possible. But numerically, no constraints, no need of Chandigarh or Chennai. Even you can apply any velocity to your model. That is the advantages of this. So this is a loading and boundary conditions and meshing. This is how actually this mesh is not satisfied. But anyhow, the contact region, very fine mesh and higher order elements are required. Then only we can exactly capture the deformation behavior as well as exact velocity. Our aim is, what is the inlet velocity? 275 meter per second, and what is going to be the exit velocity we are going to measure. The difference between that is half into m. The project mass is same, half m into v2 square minus v1 square. That will give you the ballistic resistance. Okay, once if you know the exit velocity, anyhow, if the inlet velocity is 275 and exit velocity is 50, then ballistic resistance is very high. If the exit velocity is coming down, then the material has good ballistic resistance. Okay, this is under mesh part. Then go to job module. We have to create a job name. Already we have completed this analysis. So we can give this the file name. We can give, sorry, file name is wrong. This is 400, but actually 275 we have given. You can run the simulation. After that, go to visualization mode to see the projectile penetration. This is how the projectile has came out. So I'll do one thing. Murugan sir, can I have another 10 more minutes?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sure.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So this is the visualization mode. Go to options, common, feature edges, then OK. So please, I'll put it in a view so that it will be easy. Okay. Sorry, 1 second. This is the first step. Look at this. Now the projectile hits the target. Now this is a step number 1. At the time, look at the leftmost side. There is no stresses. So once if you keep on increase the time domain, look at this. Now initially there will be a resistance for the projectile motion by the target. If we keep on increasing this, see, look at this, how it penetrates the target. Can any one of you please suggest me what is this portion?
That could be a fragment.
Exactly, sir.
Broken.
Exactly. So in this way, in the portion of the target has been removed from the, look at this. Now completely both the projectile and projectile has completely penetrated towards the target. See, this portion has been removed from the target. You may be asking the question now, sir, will it happen in the real time also? There is a definitely there will be some mismatch. Then how can you say, sir, your analysis is correct? Question is okay, but that's the reason I insisted many times how closely we are modeling the properties and the deformation behavior of the material, then only our numerical results will match with the experimentation results. This is called the fragmented portions. Okay. So in this way, now you can change the inlet velocity of the material, or this target can be converted into a layered target. The shape of the projectile can be changed, or instead of this is called the direct impact. Instead of the projectile can interact in a oblique impact, something like this. Okay, projectile left to right is called a direct impact. Instead, the same projectile can travel in an inclined direction. That is also possible. That is called oblique impact. There are a lot of scope. Even the entire tutorial is directly available in Abaqus. If you type Abaqus YouTube la Abaqus plus ballistic impact analysis and type பண்ணீங்கன்னா the total analysis procedure we can get, so that anyone can start your new journey in ballistic impact studies. The only thing is, if you want to model the composite material, if you want to, even that also we are working, this is the monolithic solid steel material. Suppose the layered target also possible in this case, so that each and every layer how the deformation happens, that also we can see. And even here, if you refine the mesh, you can clearly see how the deformed pattern. So this should match with the real time testing. Okay, so this is the total idea. Now we have to measure what is the exit velocity of the projectile. We know the inlet velocity of the projectile. Now the exit velocity of the projectile should be measured. Then from that we can predict the what is the ballistic resistance of this material or of this target. Even you can change the shape of this target. So I mentioned about the pangolin scale or armadillo or any biospecies. So here you can make the texture, you can vary the texture. Okay, and then you can do the same simulation. So it won't take much more time because you are working with the numerical method. So that is also will help you. Suppose if you want to start this area for your research work, definitely you can do. So by changing the, instead of the straight target, it can be a curved one. So how the curvature, now only the idea is very simple. Rather than penetrating, either it can be deflected or it should be plugged in. How to do that? That is the only part we have to concentrate. Okay, so I stop my lecture up to this point. If you have any doubts, still some more materials also available. If time permits, we'll discuss later, or related to composite materials alone, let's have a separate session if possible. So now I request the participants to clarify if you have any doubts. Even one thing is, in the entire software in Abaqus, you can do ANSYS LS Dyna, sorry, not LS Dyna, Autodyne option. If you have that option, definitely you can do this impact studies. If you have a novel material and if you want to check the ballistic properties or high velocity impact damage or impact phenomenon of your proposed material, definitely it can be done using Abacus and ANSYS Autodyne. That are two options are possible. And this is the quite new area. Most of the researchers may not prefer this because of security and data. It's not like that. Definitely you can get the material property. Only very few people are working. I insist every one of you to start initiating this, so that definitely we can contribute something to our defense sector. That is the main intention, not nothing else. Even if we say we could be able to minimize the weight of the Arjun tank, that is the path breaking research, and directly we are contributing to our defense sector. So don't worry about the material property or whether it is a secret or nothing. It's an open forum. Anybody can work in the area of ballistic impact. I'm also ready to help you if you want to initiate this new area for your research work. To the maximum extent I can give the material, or whatever the nature of help you want. If you want, for example, my scholars, both scholars did their high velocity impact experiments at Gujarat Forensic Science Laboratory, Ahmedabad. Even you can send your specimens there for your testing. That you can do. My another scholar also working, both scholars are working in the same domain. I will give the contact of them so that you can get further details of this. If you have a composite specimen or high thick specimens, definitely if you need any help related to ballistic impact, myself along with my scholars are ready to help you. If you have any doubts or queries, you can ask me right now.
Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you for
Thank
your
you, sir.
interesting and informative session.
Thank you, sir.
Dear participants, if you have any queries, you please unmute yourself and ask to the professor.
Any queries, sir? Any doubts or any help you require, you can ask me now. Any queries?
Sir, like ANSYS,
Solunga,
is
sir.
there for Abacus any free license software is available, sir?
Available, sir. Available, sir. Trial
Student version, student or academic version?
Yes. You can write a letter to Simulia. They will give
Okay.
you 1 month period or something like this, so that we can complete our work. There are
Okay, sir.
many MOUs and dealings are possible. Even for your publication also, you can get a trial version. Not the original cost of the software is very high, 13 lakhs or 16 lakhs. Instead, only for a particular duration, maybe 6 months, you can get few licenses. You can work with their consent. You can make publications. No issues.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Even students version also available. No issues.
Available. Okay.
Available, sir.
Okay, sir.
Any other queries from the participants? Exactly, sir. Most probably you can get Journal of Impact Engineering. Journal of Impact Engineering is one area, and other areas, and most of the cases, all the ballistic related works is suitable journal is Journal of Impact Engineering or Engineering Failure Analysis, EFA, science elsewhere. So sometimes the impact comes under fracture part also, engineering fracture mechanics. So anything, if you want to get the high strain rate properties plus something, definitely you will get from many journals, no issues. The properties can be obtained. The two JC parameter for example, if you want to aluminum 7075 plus JC parameter, definitely you can get. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sure, sir. I think already with Murugan sir, I think participants, if you have any support, if you need or help required, please mail to me. I will respond to your mail. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sir. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks for the opportunity given to me. Thank you, sir.
So participants, feedback link is posted in the chat box. Please fill up the feedback and you can leave the session.